Yo, what's going on YouTube? I am Germ here. Today we have tons of Evil Geniuses news to talk about. Obviously, they've been a very, very big story over the past couple of days. I'm recording this on April 23rd, so when I'm recording this tweet on the screen right now from EG was yesterday. But like I said, all kinds of different EG stuff to talk about. A lot of bad news for EG, the org, and their fans, which, maybe could end up being good news in the long term. I don't really know. No one really knows. We're going to have to wait and see. But also, I do want to say real quick as well that not only do we have a lot to talk about EG, we have a lot to talk about a ton of different teams. Obviously, I haven't been making LOL esports videos for the past 4 months, and obviously I'm not gonna go over every big story over the past 4 months. But over the past couple of weeks, there are some stories that are a couple days old, or even a week old, or 10 days, 14 days, whatever old, and a lot of things that I have thoughts and opinions on. I'm just kind of curious. Do you guys want me to go back and cover some of those videos? You guys want to give my thoughts and opinions? Do you guys want me to talk about some stuff you may be seen, or should we just forget all the stuff that's happened in the past and just only cover the stuff going forward? I don't know. I'd love to hear what you guys think. But anyway, back into what we're talking about today. EG, LCS update. Evil Geniuses takes great pride in our commitment to competitive performance and talent development. After the outcome of the 2023 Spring Split season, we will be making roster changes that fully align with this commitment. We will continue to share updates as we look forward to building up our team and preparing for Summer Split. This is a statement that is interesting, weird, strange, kind of dumb, and I don't really get it. It gives us some answers, but also leaves us with a lot more questions than maybe we even started with. So one, why is EG even saying this? And I kind of have one theory that EG, obviously by putting this out, is announcing they're going to be making some roster moves. They are saying that these roster moves are because they take a commitment to a commitment to competitive performance and talent development, which talent development can mean one of two things. It can mean going cheap and claiming that you're developing talent because really you don't want to spend money, or it can mean actually developing some talent. Now, we'll have to see which one of those it ends up being, but I do think EG is going to be making some roster changes. Obviously, we've heard that all over the place, but they're getting ahead of the story a little bit by kind of breaking things to their fans now, and also saying, hey guys, this is about competitive performance and talent development. We just finished 4th place this split, and that's not good enough for us, so we need to make some roster changes. When really the truth of the whole matter is likely that it's just mostly financially related, but they're not going to come out and say, hey guys, we're looking to save some money, so we're going to spend less money next split. So that is kind of weird. That's kind of strange. I don't know why EG tweeted this out. I don't think it's good that they tweeted this out. I kind of could maybe get why you'd want to tweet something out, maybe get ahead of it, but I think this is where a lot of the community lies on the whole thing here. Vulcan coming out and saying, hey, take pride in this ratio. Vulcan also says, expect the unexpected, talking about, hey, maybe some moves are going to be happening. Jack, he's in the replies as well. Some people are saying, hey, should Vulcan maybe return to C9? Would that be cool? Would that be something that would be in the best interest of him in C9, or are they better off with Sven in the bot lane? Does Berserker want to play with Vulcan? Who knows? I don't know. Also, Vulcan has signed with a new performance agency, player agency, whatever. So obviously he's going to be on the market. He's going to be looking for a new team. We also had, Someday, he's chiming in. He says the shocked emoji. He retweeted EG's statement. Seems like Someday's about to be on the market as well. We did have Alejandro Gomis coming out with his new big report saying that sources Inspired, Vulcan, Someday, and FBI will not continue in the main roster of EG. Inspired is already exploring options in the LEC and LCS. And over the past couple years, Inspired has been one of the best players in the West, not just in the LCS, but in the West. He has been an MVP level talent in both the LEC and LCS over the past couple of years. He's still relatively young. He still has a very, very bright future ahead of him. Yes, obviously this past split was not his or EG's finest, but that doesn't mean he was bad. He was still very, very good. EG just as a team wasn't as good. He wasn't able to shine as bright, but that does not mean that Inspired is not still a very, very great player, probably even still a world-class player. You can argue where you draw the line in terms of Western players, of whether they're world-class or not or whatever, but again, he's still one of the best in the West, surely. Vulcan also right there with him. Vulcan, one of the best players in LCS history. Someday FBI, you can maybe make a little bit of argument there for how good exactly these guys are still at this time, but I think they're both still obviously mid to upper tier talents in the LCS. So these players all being available is a very, very big story. Where they're going to end up is going to be a huge deal. It's going to impact the LCS and potentially the LEC as well. If a guy like Inspired does decide to return home, this is going to be a big deal. Many of these players, especially Inspired and Vulcan, are guys that would traditionally traditionally demand big contracts, so it will be interesting to see how much money they're actually able to land, and which teams are kind of priced out of the sweepstakes, which teams are priced in now that player prices are kind of getting cheaper across the board, and what the market really looks like for guys that are really some of the best in their positions in the West. And then again, someday in FBI, they're going to kind of fall into place as other different opportunities open up. So we'll have to wait and see. This is obviously a very, very big deal. But obviously the bad news here for EG and EG fans is that Evil Geniuses has really had a resurgence over the past couple years. Last year, them making it to the LCS final, making it to MSI, having all these big things, having the NA talent and Jojo Pune and Danny, having Inspired coming in, being a beast, being this team that really stole the hearts of the Houston crowd in the spring finals of 2022. They got all this new publicity, they got all this new fanfare, they were growing a fan base, they were becoming one of the more popular new age teams in the LCS, and now, over the past year, this has started to deteriorate. Not only did they not have a great performance in the spring split, they finished fourth. It was fine. They had moments. They had highs. But this was a team that obviously wanted to compete for a title, wanted to go to MSI. They weren't able to do that. They've had the Danny drama. They cleaned house of their coaching staff from last year, headed into this year. And now they're going to be clearing out this roster that so many of these new EG fans have fallen in love with, especially the guys like Inspired, Vulcan, and Jojo Pune that have been around for a couple splits now. Pretty crazy stuff. Now, there are people saying, hey, potentially Jojo Pune could be staying around. This is what Alejandro says here. Jojo Pune is expected to play in the roster, but at the moment we can't 100% confirm this. Travis has also said, we don't know if JoJo is going to be leaving or not yet. Travis also speculated a little bit that Vulcan could be headed to FlyQuest. That does seem to be a team that's being thrown around a little bit. We haven't really heard much about Someday or FBI just yet. It's very possible Someday could potentially make a return to 100 Thieves. Who knows? FBI, not really sure where he's going to end up just yet. But Travis has come out and said in his video that he does believe that a lot of this is financially motivated and that EG is potentially going to be going very, very budget. So not only are they losing some of their fan favorite players, not only are they losing some of their players that have really built up this team and this organization over the past couple of years, they're potentially going to be going from a team that is really, really strong and competing for titles and trying to make it to international events to a team that could be fighting for their life at the bottom of the barrel in the LCS, depending on how budget they go. And just because you go budget, that doesn't automatically mean you're going to suck. Obviously, it kind of skews you downwards a little bit. Some teams have performed very, very well with budget rosters, but more often than not, we see budget rosters be very, very, very unsuccessful. So we'll have to wait and see. But this EG team in the summer split is going to look way, way different than the spring split. And that also kind of brings up the question to me as well. If you're going to be going budget, why hold on to Jojo Pune? Why throw Jojo Pune, who is this, potentially generational type of LCS talent, even though he wasn't so great in this past split? Why throw Jojo Pune out there with a ton of players who are not going to be to his caliber, not going to be to his level? Why have a championship level mid laner and not a championship level team around him? That doesn't make much sense. It's very, very strange. I don't really know. I don't understand. I don't get it. We'll have to see what happens. But obviously it is very, very disappointing to see such a talented team, an organization that was up and coming and growing, having to resort to something like this. It also kind of leaves the question for me, if they're going budget, why are they going budget now halfway through the year? Obviously, people are saying, hey, they're going budget because of this economic downturn, because of the esports winter, because VC money is drying up and all this stuff. But guess what? We're now 4 months into 2023. These things are not shocking. These things are not surprising. We knew these things going into the 2023 season. So why now, 4 months in? Why now are you deciding to go budget? Why now are you deciding to roll back spending? Why did you not make the decision in the off season before the season like so many other teams and organizations and businesses had to do? Doesn't really make a sense. I don't really understand the timing all that much. It seemed to me like, hey, teams that went into 2023 having money to spend, it seems like they would have been good to go throughout the year. Maybe something changed. I mean, I hope something changed. I hope this wasn't just, poor planning, mismanagement, whatever. Or was it really, hey, this team's going to go to MSI or we're going to blow it up? I don't think so. That doesn't really make much sense to me either. Who knows? But man, bad news for EG, bad news for EG fans. But as a kind of, lover of drama, as I am, many other people am, it makes it very, very interesting this mini offseason now to see where some of these big names end up. But it does suck to see such a talented organization and brand and all this stuff, bad things happen to them. But again, like I said, when you throw the Danny drama on top of this, all these things have been pointing down for EG for quite a while now. And this definitely is not going to help that. But that's pretty much it for this video today, guys. Hopefully catch you in the next one. Let me know what you guys think about everything we talked about in this video today in the comment section below. Peace.